What's up, everybody? Blue Raven here. Sorry for the long delays to my intros. I'm trying to I have to get my laptop synced in with what I'm seeing on my screen, so I have to wait for my laptop to actually produce the picture before I actually do my intro. So there's always a lag. There's like a 10-20 second lag between you guys actually start seeing the video and me start talking. So I do apologize for that. As you can see by the title, this is a new player's guide for any Souls game. This includes Demon Souls, Dark Souls 1, Dark Souls 2, Dark Souls 3, and Bloodborne, Neo, any Souls-style game. Any game that has this style of gameplay, this is going to be a general guide on how to approach them. I'm not going to play through the entire game. I'm just going to be playing it and giving you tips on what you should be looking for as if you were never to play one. If you're a player, I've met a couple of people now who've never even heard of these games, let alone even played them. One of my neighbors, he's never played a Souls game before. He's heard of them, but never played it. And I started him on Dark Souls 2, and he's not liking it because it's actually kind of hard.
Yes.
And I realized I didn't realize that when I had started on Dark Souls 2 that it is harder than Dark Souls 3. It is a harder game. But overall, once he started getting the hang of it. Once I started explaining different things and how the game is actually operated, and he started to grasp the concepts, I think he's starting to enjoy it. But I'm doing this guide because I think a lot of people who they hear Dark Souls is one of the best games out there, you should play it, and they pick it up and they try to play it and they fail miserably and they just go, no, I'm never gonna play this again. This guide is for those people. This guide is for people who have never played it before and they wanna have a good experience. So if everybody enjoys this video, because I'm going to do my best to try to explain everything that you need to know before you actually start the game. So the very first thing is, obviously, your character creation. This is the most important thing in Dark Souls. In all the Souls games, is creating the right character when you on your first playthrough. So we're going to name this guy... We're gonna go blue. We're gonna go blue. It's Blue Raven. This is Blue Raven. Okay, this is gonna be Blue Raven. All right. So, Dark Souls 3 is by far the easiest Souls game out of the three, excluding the second DLC, which is quite difficult, but it's still manageable. This is still one of the easiest Souls games out of the entire series. It's easier than 1, 2, and Bloodborne. I'd even go as far as to say it's easier than Neo, which isn't a Souls game. It's not. It's a Souls style game, but it's not made by FromSoft. And I would say it's probably a little bit easier than Lords of the Fallen, which is again not made by FromSoft, but another Souls style game. And that's what this is about. This is about all the games, not just the Souls, not the games made by FromSoft, but any company who makes a game similar to this, that has the same play style. If you can grasp this play style, you can play any of these games, and that's what's nice about this playthrough that I'm going to do. So, in Dark Souls 3, if you're a new player, when it comes to the Souls games, I'd recommend Dark Souls 3 as your start off. I'd start with Dark Souls 3 and then go back to 1. Start off with 3, where it's really easy, and then go back to 1, where it's super hard, and then you'll understand why the tutorial. I'm doing this tutorial on 3 and not 1. Well, 1, I don't have a PS3 to do it on, and 2, I only have Dark Souls 1 on the Xbox 360, but I will be once I get a video capture card, I will be doing a complete playthrough of Dark Souls 1 for you guys. But again, when we come down to it, your character creation is the most important thing, because regardless of what I say, it's about you, the person. They build these games around the person that's going to be playing the game, not the YouTuber you're watching playing the game. Okay, I'm proficient with any class. So if I go down here to class, I'm proficient with all these. I can play with any of these and succeed. I can play with any of them. I'm gonna die more often than not with certain ones, but I can play with any of these and succeed. Okay, and that's what you need to understand, is that that's because I've been playing for a long time. But for people who haven't been playing, who new people, what you need to look at is, let me see, can I, is there a way I can, exploration, yes, okay. So we're going to look at each one of these stats. So you have all these stats. I'm going to explain what these stats do, okay? Obviously, level, that's your general level, okay? And in Dark Souls, they have level caps. They have what they call a soft cap and then a hard cap. Okay, the soft cap is dictated by the Souls community for PvP, and I believe the soft cap for Dark Souls 3 is 120. The hard cap's 150 for all Souls games. At 150, when you go to put anything into any of these, you're not going to really get as much as you were before. And I'll explain what I mean by that here in a second. The next thing is vigor. That's your actual life. That's your total amount of life, okay? Very important stat to level up. The next one is attunement. This one is for people who are going to be using spells. If you want to use sorceries, you want to go ahead and get this up so you have more more spell usages. Endurance. This is your stamina, and it also protects you from lightning and bleed in this game. I don't know if it does it in the other game. I don't think stamina affects your. I know our endurance. I know endurance in Dark Souls 3 or Dark Souls 2. There's endurance, and then there's another one called adaptability, and then the two of those go hand in hand, and they increase your overall stats against poison, lightning, bleed, everything. And you have to level those up equally to keep getting the perks off of those. But you don't do that in this one. This one they just do it all into endurance. So endurance is always good because it increases the amount of your stamina. The amount of times you can swing your weapon, how long you can run for, how many times you can dodge. If you're blocking, if you're playing a turtle build, how many times you can block an enemy before you lose all your stamina and it breaks your shield block. So that's a good stat to level up. Vitality. This governs your physical defense. So your actual defense of the character. So this includes your armor defense and your equipment load. So vitality, the more vitality you have, the heavier the equipment you can actually carry, i.e. the better the defense you can have. Strength is for weapon, is the stat for strength weapons. There's specific weapons in the game that are built specifically for strength. There's weapons built strictly for dex, intelligence, and faith. There's weapons specifically designed for all four of these, excuse me. Strength weapons are typically going to be your big, heavy weapons. Swords, great swords, ultra great swords, ultra great clubs, halberds. I'm trying to think of some other good strength weapons. Great axes. Anything that has great on it, you're going to want strength to use it. Dexterity is more your fast-paced weapons. So any of your katanas, daggers, thieves' knives, any of your fast weapons. So anything that's a fast-paced weapon that requires fast agility to use, dex. And Dex also helps with fall damage. The more dexterity you have, the less fall damage you take when you fall off of something. Because this game, Souls games do have fall damage. If you fall off a cliff, and it's too far down, you're gonna die. Intelligence is strictly for sorceries, but it also goes into your pyromancy as well. So it's sorcery and pyromancies. So for in the other Dark Souls games, pyromancies were dictated by intelligence as well. So intelligence always covers your sorcery spells and your pyromancy spells. Faith will help with your pyromancies too, but not as much as intelligence will. Faith covers miracles, pyromancies, and dark spells. Okay, and that's important on some of the other games. Not so much as important on this one. When I do Faith, I usually just stick to Faith spells because the dark spells in this game aren't that great. They're not as good as they are in some of the other Souls games. Now, Luck is the new one for the Souls series, because in the other games, you got luck off of like items. You didn't actually have a stat for it that I can remember. But this this ability helps with your bleeding. And again, as it says this ability governs item discovery, ups your bleed and poise capability, and governs the resistance to cursing. So your poising mean how long it takes before you actually, your shield, when you're blocking, how long before you lose your shield and your poise gets broken and you're wide open for a counterattack. So it helps with that. It helps if you're working in an intelligence build and you're using an Uchi. I'd recommend leveling up Dex and Luck at the same time, because they go hand in hand with each other. Because an Uchi causes bleed. This is going to cause bleed. This is going to help you bleed faster. Now, each of these stats all have a hard cap, and all of them are at 40, I believe. I might have to look. I could be wrong on that, but for the most part, most of these are going to be right around 40. That's going to be the soft cap. That means you're going to get really good every time you level up where they're at from where they're at right now up to 40. You're going to get huge chunks of perk for it. So if I go to Vigor, which is my life, and I put 5 into that from right now, or let's say I put 8 into it, put it at 20, right? I would get a huge chunk of life. You'd see my life bar go way up. Then when I get to 40, let's say I go from 40 to 45, it's going to go up very slightly. It's still going to go up a good chunk, but it's going to go up a lot. It's going to go up a lot less. And then at 50, it's going to hard cap. And then at 50, every point that I put in a Vigor after 50, I'm only going to get 1 point of health for it. It's going to hard cap. It's no longer going to give me big chunks anymore. It's going to give me 1 point, and that includes every stat. Once you hit the hard cap for that, whatever the hard cap is for that stat, be it 40, be it 50, you're going to see it's only going to give you 1 point after that. So all these players who max out their characters at 99, it didn't matter after 50. I mean, yeah, you're going to get another 49 points into your character, but before 50, you were getting 70 points into your character, 80 points per level. That's the difference. That's why stopping when these things hit 50, when your specific attributes hit your level cap, is good for the character, because after that you're not you're getting a little bit better, but it's not gonna make, you're still gonna be one smashing everything if you get all your main stats for your starting character to their hard cap. So that's what you need to know about stats initially. Now you have to ask yourself, okay, what class should I start with? Well, again, they build these games around the person who's playing the game, not the person you're watching playing the game. For me, whenever I start a new RPG game, I always like to be the tank, because tanks typically can take more damage, so I can progress further in the game and get a better handle on the game without dying a lot. So I typically like to go tank. That being said, that's not always the best route. The tank in this game would be the knight. This is the best character as far as his ability to absorb the most amount of damage at the start of the game. He has the best armor starting the game. But if you played a lot of RPGs and you like sorceries, then I would recommend, especially in Dark Souls 3, to start with a Pyromancer. Start with a Pyromancer because you can build, because he does have 14 faith and 14 intellect. You can go from a Pyromancer into a sorcery build or into a cleric build. It's because the Pyromancer, see how like a faith build is 16 and 7 and a sorcery build is 16 and 7, the opposite. So it's kind of pushing you already into either you're gonna be doing sorcery spells or pyromancies, or you're gonna be doing sorcery spells or dark spells. Whereas a pyromancy, you can start out that way and you can keep doing pyromancies, and then you can work your way into either doing a sorcery build or a faith build or a dark build. So if you want to start doing those, that's the build I'd recommend. If you want high DPS, a character with, if you really like that high DPS character, I would recommend, where is he at? I'd recommend the warrior, because the warrior has high strength. His armor is light. Oh, it's medium. It's like a medium armor. It's not light armor, but it's a medium grade armor, so he can take a hit, but he can definitely pump out a lot of damage very quickly. So can the mercenary. The mercenary is actually supposed to be the one that's designed to do the highest amount of damage because you can dual wield swords. Well, hi Josh. How you doing today, buddy? The mercenary is supposed to be the highest DPS one because he has, if you look, I can't explore. If you look at the weapon, he actually has one weapon he can combine, and he has two, to where he can he has a weapon in each hand, so he can dish out a lot of damage. But he leaves himself open for a lot of counter attacks. But I think he actually has the highest DPS starting out. Well, jump online, man. You can come play some Dark Souls with me anytime, man. I'm streaming right now, but you haven't been on lately. I thought we were doing the whole Warframe thing, and then you haven't been on, so we haven't been able to talk. I miss you too, man. Sorry, that's part of stream. Talk to my fans. But he's technically, and he's got the best all-around stats to start out. If you can go anywhere with him. If you want, you can go strength. If you want, you can go dex. He does have higher dex, so you could go into the katanas and stuff. But if you want to leave his dex right there and go right into strength, you can. So I mean, but I still think because of how devastating axes are in this game, and Dark Souls 3 in particular, axes are very devastating. I would start with the warrior if you wanted to go heavy DPS. We're going to start out with the knight because this is the easiest class to start with. So even if you don't know what you're doing, this is going to be the easiest class to start the game with. Now, burial gifts. Each game has something like this. Oh, okay. Okay, well, whenever you're on, just hit me up, man. I'm always on. Just shoot me a message. My buddy Josh was saying he's still playing Warframe. He's just had a lot to do this week, so that's why he hasn't been on. But every Souls game has like a burial gift to pick from, and when you look through them, you go, oh, life ring. That's gonna, and you see it. It raises my maximum HP. Oh, that sounds really good. Divine blessing. I can get. What this is it's a drink. It'll fully restore your HP once. So you use it once and it's gone. And you'll have to wait to find another one. And you can only carry one at a time. Hidden blessings for magic. It'll increase your magic. You could pick up a black firebomb, which is just a firebomb. It's just black firebomb. You get a fire gem, so once you get to the main hut, you can instantly infuse your weapon with fire damage if you wanted to. So you get a fire weapon starting right at the beginning of the game if you want to. Sovereignless Soul, that gives you so the currency in Dark Souls is souls. This is a currency. You would crush this and it would give you, I think, like 2,000 souls to start the game with, so you could get just a little bit ahead. A rusted coin would help you with it'll help you with like your luck to find. It'll help you bleed and it'll help your item discovery. Cracked red eye orb is help. You can use this if you want to be for PvP. You want to invade. I recommend for Dark Souls 3 to always start off with a white branch, and the reason is because there's an NPC in this game that if you don't start out with this, you'll have to go find him first and talk to him. Otherwise, when you go to a certain area and he starts volleying giant arrows at the ground, those arrows will hurt you. If you start the game with this, those arrows won't hurt you. So I always start with this. But for a new player, because you're going to die a lot, we're going to play as if we're a new player. So we're going to start with the life ring, because this is a ring you will get in the game later, but you can sell it, so it's not a big deal. We're going to start the game with the life ring equipped. Okay, it's going to give it so you have more life just starting the game. And then you can go into facial presets. You can, change the way that your character looks. I'm actually gonna go to one of my. I'm gonna load one of mine, just to make it easy on everybody. We'll go with it. Oh wait, I like him. I kind of like him. I kind of like he's got like a. We could do a woman. We could do a chick, but we're at night. We're gonna go. Yeah, we'll go with this guy. Okay, so that's a character. You're not gonna see his face that much because he's got a mask on anyway, so it doesn't matter. Then we're gonna finalize our creation. But that's the most important thing when you first start Dark Souls, is creating that character the right way. Because if you start with the wrong character, you're not gonna have a good time. If you start off like any other MMO, any other RPG, and you think, well, I'm gonna build my character based on this because this is how I play him. Like for instance, my neighbor, he's playing Dark Souls 2, and he started out with a cleric, and he said he didn't like it. And I said, yeah, you start off with a really weak class. And he said, what do you mean? I said, you really want to understand Dark Souls 2, you need to start with a sorcerer, because a sorcerer is the cheese of Dark Souls 2. You can't do it in Dark Souls 3. He's not really a cheese character in Dark Souls 3, but in Dark Souls 2, sorcery was the way to go. You could cheese your bosses, you could cheese the enemies, everything. Dark Souls 3 is a lot more around Bloodborne. It really wants you to do a lot of melee attacks and stuff. So, melee weapons and stuff like that definitely trump spells. That's not saying spells are bad in this game, but melees are a lot more devastating. I need a drink of my coffee, guys. Hold on a second. Sorry, it's in my nose. Oh, I had like, I'm a little congested. Sorry, guys. All right, so to start off all Souls games, you're gonna get a tutorial. Everybody says that Souls games just throw you in and let you figure it out. That's not true. You get the generic basic tutorial. Oh, look, I can move my camera. Okay. R1's to regular attack. Okay, so now I know regular attacks are. Oh, I got a strong attack too. But if you look in the top, okay, so the top left-hand corner, you see when I did that, the green bar is your stamina. The blue bar is for your health, or the blue bar is for your magic, and the red bar is your health. Okay. And this says target lock and release. See, now if I push in that, I can lock on him or I cannot lock on him. as a new player, you want to really pay attention. That's this is a very good tutorial to know about. This is a very good thing to know, is that you can lock onto enemies. Because if you lock onto them, now I can strafe. If I'm not locked on, I can't strafe. See how I'm just walking left and right? But as soon as I do that, look, now I can strafe him. I can walk up, and I can... He hit me. Roll. You can roll, backstep, or if you push any angle, you're gonna roll by pushing circle. If you hold down for circle, you're gonna dash forward. You're gonna run. See how I'm running? Okay. Anytime you see these little white glowing things, that's an item. Okay. So these are items you're gonna pick up. Okay. A soul of a deserted corpse. I'm going to show you what that is. Soul of a deserted corpse. What this is again, this is the currency of the game. This is a bundle. It's a set amount of souls that's been bundled together. This one will currently yield, I believe maybe 600, not 600, like 500 or 600 souls. Not a lot of souls. But in the late game, there's some that can yield up to 25,000 or 50,000. I think is the highest you can go. So just keep that in mind. Okay, we already learned that. Okay. Now, there's two types of white auras that you'll see. There's the small aura, which this guy just dropped, and the small aura that we got from back over there, and then there's large auras. Large auras are significant items. They're special items. They're going to be items you want to pick up, okay? Small ones are always going to be crafting materials, souls, daggers, bombs, you know, just the various odd and end things, Homer bones, stuff like that. That's going to be your small white ores. The big white ores are going to be items you need to pick up. That they're very specific that you need to get. This one happens to be our Ashen Estus. Now, this is where I need to. This is the part of the tutorial where I want to explain how do you heal yourself and what everything does. So if I push up on the D-pad, you see how if I'm pushing up on the D-pad, it's lighting up. This part of these four squares is your spells. We don't have any spells, so obviously that doesn't do anything. If I push left, my shield goes away. Okay, push left again, my shield goes back. I push right, my sword goes away. I push right, my sword comes back. If I push down, I can rotate between my Ashen Estus and my regular Estus. Your regular Estus, when you drink it, if you push square, you'll drink it, and it'll heal you. If you drink this one, this will give you your magic back. Okay, we're not going to do a magic build, so we don't really need this right now. We're already going to take it off, and you see this is already equipped, so we already have more life than a normal character would start with. Now, if you read this, our L1 is your guard. Okay, so that's your guard. And then this is going to tell us about a backstab. See, hold R1 behind an enemy to backstab. So lock on, strafe up behind him, very slowly. That's what a critical attack looks like. Now look, see how much smaller that aura is versus the Ashen Estus aura it was? That's what I mean. He just gave me a faded soul. Now there's two enemies here, and the easiest way to do it is to take out the first one you see, and then dodge the second one. And then there's another one over here. We'll take him out, and then I'll read these next things. Okay. Triangle to two-hand your weapon, and then while holding your you can do the weapon skill. This is your weapon skill. So you see how I'm posed. Now if I hit R2, I do this. Now you see, it used magic, but it does a very, very aggressive attack. Use item. they're assuming you took damage here, so hit square, and I'm healed. Again, blocking. If there's an enemy that's doing this, where they're blocking you, their shield, if you hit forward and R1, you can kick them. And if you do it enough times, depending on how good their poise is, you can break their shield guard and you can get a critical attack on them. Parry. Okay, so this one's talking about parry or riposte. So parry. So if I parried that guy, if that guy attacked and I parried him, you'd hear a thunk sound. It would go dung. That means you did a successful parry, and he'll be staggered. And then if you hit R1, you get a critical attack against him. Or riposte is what they call it in this. In Bloodborne, they call them visceral attacks. That's what I like calling them, is visceral attacks. It sounds better. We're gonna go. You see, there's another passage over here. We're gonna go do that in just a second. But let's go get this bonfire real quick. So I want to explain how bonfires work. Okay, to change your weapons. Again, it's showing. I just showed you that, how to toggle between your stuff. And so to know how many items, so you can carry up to 3 weapons, and in your right hand, and 3 weapons in your left hand. And that's how you. That's why there's a toggle for it, because you could toggle. If I had another weapon, I could hit right, and it would go to my secondary weapon or my third weapon. If usually this is going to be shields. Obviously, you can see it shows shields. Shields are staffs. Shields are sorcery staffs, like that. Your pyromancy glove, stuff like that, is going to go in here. And then you would hit the left to go between those. This is your armor set. This is where your armor goes. This is where your rings go. And then any items that you want to quick select, the down arrow, you put in here. We will be putting items here in just a second, and you'll see what I'm talking about. But all Dark Souls games, all Dark Souls style games have this. Okay, Dark Souls has, they call it a bonfire. Bloodborne, they're called, in fact you can read it right here. Rest of the bonfire restored HP and Estus supply. See, we have 2 Estus. If I I'm gonna get an emote too when I do this. See, now I'm back up to 3 Estus. And leave. Understand, when you rest at a bonfire, all the enemies will respawn. So when I work my way back, these enemies that I killed earlier, all the enemies that we just killed just a minute ago, they've respawned. See? What you want to do is you want to sneak up behind him, though. See if we can sneak up behind this guy. Nope. He heard us. Now, all these guys down here are one-hit kills. So... okay. We want to go over here, though. And it says turn back. Now, as a new player, I would recommend heeding that word and coming back here later. I'm going to show you how to beat this thing. Now, whether or not you have to. There's an enemy on the other side of this rock. In order to beat him, you have to understand the combat of this game. Okay, you have to understand that when you block and you take damage, this shield, if you look at it, has 100% physical block. So any physical attacks, it's going to take 100. This shield's going to take 100% of it. Okay, but it's going to take some of my stamina away every time it does that. And based on how powerful attack is how much stamina I'm going to lose. If I lose all my stamina, my shield's going to go to its side, and I'm going to stagger backwards, and I'm going to hey, Ghetto Creeper, what's up, buddy? I'm going to stagger backwards and be open for an attack from the enemy. So you want to watch your green bar when you're blocking an enemy. Okay, so that's one part of attacking that you need to understand. The second is how many times to swing. Okay, you don't want to swing and use up all your stamina, because if you do that, then you have no way of getting away if they're not. If you use up all your stamina and that enemy's still alive in front of you, you're leaving yourself open for an attack. So you always want to attack and leave some stamina away. So you want to be like attack, 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 roll back, and I can back away. See what I mean? That's good combat. This is why it says turn back. You see that big blue guy? I'm going to show you guys how to fight him using very basic combat skills, okay? I'm not going to do any advanced stuff. So what we want to do is immediately lock onto him. And then you want to strafe him. See how much? 1, 2, 3. Get away from him. 1, 2. Get away from him. Just attack him twice. Let him do that. 1, 2. Get away from him. 1, 2. Now he's staggered, and you can get a critical attack against him. And then lock back on. Don't forget to lock back on. Get away from him. 1, 2. Get away from him. Stay away from our there we go. 1, 2. Back up. 1, 2. Get away. 1, 2. Get away. As you see, I'm blocking everything. I'm blocking everything he's doing. 1, 2, and he's dead. Now, I want to point something out to you guys. If you were paying attention, you'd notice this. When he was attacking and I was blocking my shield, I wasn't taking any damage, and you saw my stamina going down. But if I keep my guard up after his attacks are done, my stamina goes back up very slowly. If you noticed, as soon as he did his attacks and I blocked him, I would drop my shield. So my stamina bar would go back up, so I could get my attacks in. So I could be like, he block, took stamina, let my stamina go back up, then I can get my 2 attacks on, and then I go back into blocking, and my stamina comes right back up, and I'm ready for his attacks. That's the easiest way to fight him, and you always want to rotate to the enemy's weaker side. For those crystal lizards, the big crystal lizard guys, you want to rotate to whichever side, the opposite side of which side they're moving to. So if he's moving to the right, rotate to his left. If he's moving to the left, rotate to his right. Because that's which way he's going to attack. He's going to attack whichever way he's rotating. So you want to watch him when you're locked on, and whichever way he's rotating, you rotate the opposite direction. That way, 2 things are going to happen. Either one of his attacks is going to hit you, or 2, he's going to completely miss you with both of his attacks. And watch what he does, because based on what he does, you can figure out which attack he does. If he rears back, he's going to do one of 2 attacks. He's either going to start rolling, which means get out of the way of him, or he's going to slam the ground and shoot crystals into the air. If he does that, just back away from him. Either way, on both of those, when he rears up, you want to back away. If he kind of swings, if he swings to either side, he's going to either whip his tail at you, or he's going to swing his hands at you. Again, if you're rotating to the proper side, he's either going to hit you once, he's going to hit your shield once, or he's going to completely miss you altogether. Now, why is that important? Because a lot of bosses are like that in Souls games. If you understand their movements, you can rotate away from their heavy attacks and away from a lot of their stuff, and you can get in some very good damage on them. And we're going to fight a boss. This Dark Souls 3 that gives you a boss right at the beginning of the game, which is really nice. That's not a boss. That was just a regular enemy. He gives you crafting material and a lot of souls. So again, we want to block. We want to kite him into an attack. Okay, you want to kite enemies into attacking first. If these guys are sitting down, just go ahead and kill them. If you see an enemy sitting down and you can take advantage of it, take advantage of it. See this guy? We want him to attack first. There we go. We have 100% block shield, so we want them to attack us first, so that we don't take damage. So get close. Okay. Now, one thing it didn't show you, it's going to show it to you right here. Here's another tutorial item. If you push L3 while dashing, you can jump. So it wants you to jump right here. I missed it. See, there's an item right there, and I missed the item. I jumped in the wrong spot. Press R1 while falling to do a plunge attack. That's very important. There's a guy right here. R1. He's dead. I plunge attacked him. Strafe. I lock on. See how I strafe so his arrows completely miss me? And the boss is right there. I'm going to show you that kick thing, too, that I was talking about a minute ago. No, see how he's blocking? I just broke his guard. I kicked him and broke his guard. Okay, fire bombs. We got 5 fire bombs. Now what you want to do is go here and put those in our quick inventory. Now watch. Now see how I can rotate between my fire bombs and my Estus. The Souls games are really good about giving you item if there's an item on the ground near a certain boss or something. Typically, it's because that boss is weak to that item, so it wants you to use it. Okay, that's where we're heading. By the way, that's Firelink Shrine. That's where we're trying to get to, but we have to go through this boss first. But first, we're gonna come back over here. We haven't taken any damage, so we don't need to rest. We're just gonna redo this jump real quick. You want to kind of hit right, not that. I messed up again. Sorry. You want to hit the big rock, not the little rock. You want to go for the big rock. We can work our way back around. And I recommend practicing jumping. How'd I miss it? Oh, I took fall damage too. That sucks. Because on the big rock. Oh. It was on the big rock. I hope I'm explaining this as best I can, because I've been playing Souls for a very long time, so a lot of this is very easy to me. Oh, that's not right. It's that little rock in between the big rock and so there's 3 rocks there. There's a big rock, a medium rock, and there's a little rock in between. You want to hit that little rock in between. And then I got a Titanite shard. Now, to level up your weapons, you need Titanite. To level up boss weapons, you need Twinkling Titanite, which is what we got from that big crystallis was Twinkling Titanite. That levels up boss weapons. But regular Titanite will level you up. The regular Titanite I just picked up will level you up to +3. Will level up any weapon you want to +3. Then you'll need to get large Titanite to get it to +6. After +6, you'll need Titanite chunks to get to +9. After +9, you'll need a Titanite slab to put it at +10. +10 is the max for your ordinary weapons. Boss weapons max at +5. They require Twinkling Titanite up to +4 and then a Titanite slab for +5. All weapons to max them out need a Titanite slab, no matter what weapon it is. So we're going to take this boss on. I'm going to show you how to beat him up pretty easily. He's much harder in later in the game when you fight. If you decide you want to, he's an optional boss later in the game. If you want to fight him later in the game, he's much harder. But if you look around, you have a very big arena to fight him in. There is a drop off, so I want you to make you aware of that you can fall off the map and die. So you want to try to stay away from this side of the map at all possible. And you don't want to, but at the same time, you don't want to get yourself pinned against this side. You want to try to keep him right in this general area, okay? What you're going to do is, as soon as you pull the sword out, actually I'm going to two-hand my weapon, because two-handing does more damage. So as soon as I pull the sword out, I want to start doing damage to him before he can get up. You'll see what I mean. Okay, back to that, lock on, and then rotate away from his weapon. Get your attacks in. You always want to stay on that side, on his hand side. Now if you get hurt, wait for him to attack, drink. He's transforming. Stay behind him now. Now you want to stay behind him. Roll away when he does that, and stay behind him. Ah, it didn't hit me. I rolled. Rotate, get behind him. Rotate, get behind him. And kill him. Look at his life bar at the bottom of the screen, and if you know you can get enough hits in to kill him, go ahead and go for the kill. I knew I'd run out of stamina, but I knew at the same time I would I would kill him when I ran out of stamina. He would be dead. Now you notice I'm glowing now. I'm embered. Okay. Before we got to this point, I wasn't embered. I was just ash, because that's what you are. You're ash. Now I'm embered. You notice my life bar went up. When you're in your embered state, when you're in a state where you see these little red embers burning off of you, you have more life. When you die, you lose your ember. And it cuts your life down by, I think, like 35, maybe 40% of your life is gone while you're not embered. But there's pros and cons to that. Okay? When you're not embered, you can't be invaded. If you're playing online, you can't be invaded if you're not embered. Okay? By NPCs or other. If you're embered, you can be invaded, but you can also summon other people to help you. You can't summon anybody if you're not embered. Okay? So that's important to know as well. And I'm going to show you how to. I'm going to show you how to be embered and unembered. What it looks like to. You just saw what it looked like to be unembered before we fought this boss. Now I'm going to show you when you become how to re-ember yourself once you become unembered, because it's the same thing in all the games. Okay. Dark Souls 1, Dark Souls 2 had a different way of doing it than Dark Souls 3, but they all have generally the same motif. Okay. All the games have the same motif as far as when you die, there's a penalty for dying, and this is how to undo that penalty. We see an item. Okay, let's go ahead and grab him. Block that, and he's blocking, so we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna shield break that. And see, I did the forward R1. Remember, forward R1 does a kick. He was blocking, so I forward R1. He has a small shield, so it's easy to break his guard. Homeward Bone. Now what a Homeward Bone does is return to the last bonfire you rested at, or to the shrine. Now we haven't got to the shrine yet, but these are very good to have. If you get to an area where you've completed that whole area and you don't want to run back to the bonfire, just use one of these and they'll take you right back where you need to go. Okay? Now, in Dark Souls 3, they're not that big of a deal because they put way too many bonfires in Dark Souls 3. That's why I say if you're going to play a Souls game to start, if you want to start out Souls, play Dark Souls 3, because they made it this one's the easiest of all, by far the easiest of any Souls game out there. It just tells us just how to open your menus. We're going to go over here. There's a guy in a cliff, and we're going to do a Spartan kick and kick him off. See ya. Now, this is what Dark Souls games are all about. It's all about looking at your entire environment. Always, in any game that's a Soul-style game, Dark Souls or any game that's in the same motif as Dark Souls, you always want to look at your entire environment. You always want to be looking around at everything, okay? So I see there's two guys sleeping right here, right? But if you look up, I can see one guy. If I move over a little bit, I can see a second guy. So there's 4 guys here total. If you go and attack these 2 guys here, those 2 guys will stand up, and one of them is an archer. So what you want to do is, to avoid that, you want to go around. Oh, look. You see where we need to go. But you want to go around, and you want to see these 2 guys are sleeping. Let's take these guys out first. Let's see what happens. See, that guy had a shield too, so he took 2 hits. That guy took a 1 hit. Now look, these guys are still sleeping. These guys didn't get up this time. Lock on. Now, the reason he died in one hit is I heavy attacked him. That's the heavy attack. So I heavy attacked him. And we're going to go... And again, always look at your surroundings, because this looks like where we need to go. But if you look, there's a path this way, and there's a path this way. Let's go check out this path over here. Let's see what's going on over here. And anytime you're like, okay, I can see a path, but I'm not sure what's around the corner, go ahead and put up your shield. You never know. Oh, see? You never know, right? So if you're not sure, just hold down your shield, so that way if anything is there, oh look, we found an item. Now we found an ember. Now that's what the important thing is. I'm going to show you that because I'm gonna die here in a second. Anyways, I know I always die to this part area. Anyway, so you guys will see it, and you'll see what I'm talking about as far as what embers do here in a second. Now, I'd recommend putting your embers in your quick item slot. Have them there. You see how it's grayed out? I can't use it right now because I'm currently embered. Okay, but that's how you when you die, you become unembered. You'll consume that, and it'll return you to this status. Now, this is Firelink Shrine. This is the main hub. This is a safe haven. Okay, unless you attack the enemies, the NPCs in here, they're all friendly. Here's your normal depressed guy. He's always, oh, I'm so sad about everything. In a little bit, I don't know if he's here right now, but in a little bit there'll be a guy leaning up against this wall you'll want to talk to. This isn't a walkthrough for Dark Souls 3. This isn't, so understand, this isn't me telling you how to play Dark Souls 3. This is me telling you how to play any Dark Souls game, because what I'm doing applies to all the games. You could do this in any Dark Souls game or Dark Souls style game. They all generally work the same. Okay? That cold sword we got off of him. Now we have the Shrine Bonfire. So now, no matter where we go... Okay, and now the way Souls games work is... if I rest at this, I can travel. Now, you see I can travel to the High Wall of Lothric, or I can travel to any other bonfire I've lit. So I can go to where the boss was I just fought, or this is where the boss was, or the cemetery was where we first started when the first bonfire we found. So that's how you quick travel in this game. This is she's the probably one of the more important NPCs in the game because she levels you up. So she can level up your stats. Now, if you watch my HP. You see how much I gained off of just going 1 point? I mean, look at that. I go up, what? 6 points. And I'm up almost 200 life just off of that alone. We're not gonna level up quite yet with her yet. I'm gonna show you. Just because we're not. First thing, in all the other Souls games, when you get a bundle of souls, you have to break them to consume them. In this game, you don't necessarily have to. You can, but it takes too long. All the souls I have, she'll give you the exact amount that if you were to crush them, you can just sell them to her, and it'll save you time. So those give me 50, this one gives me 200, and this one gives me 800. So now, that's another reason we want to wait. Now, another thing we want to do is when I come talk to him, this is your blacksmith. He does a lot of things. He levels up your weapons for you. He can infuse your weapons. So if we had that fire gem, we could have put the fire on the sword if we wanted to. Reinforce. We don't have enough Titanite right now. We only have 1. We need 2 to level this up. A lot Estus. Now, since we're not doing any magic, we want to put we want to take this Ashen Estus that we got and put it right into our regular Estus. Okay? And then reinforced. If we had Estus shards, he would reinforce it to give us more.
Be careful.
Okay? Now you notice we still only have 3, but we did reinforce it, or we did allot it, but we only have 3. All we need to do is just rest at the bonfire. Now see, we're at 4 now. That's important. We want 4. Okay. Now, I'm gonna. This is just pertaining to Dark Souls 3, but this ring, and I don't know about Dark Souls 1, but I do know that in Dark Souls 2, you can get this ring, this version. You can get a better version of this ring very early in the game in Dark Souls 2. So in this one, if you do this little jump here, and you land on this roof, you can get a ring. And you can get another Estus shard. This may take me a few tries. But we'll get it. If you're having a hard time, sometimes it's easier just to do this. Go full naked man. One reason is because hold on. Explore, okay. Here we go. Equipment load. See, my equipment load's at 7.8. Anything over 60%, anything over 60, you're going to fat roll. Meaning when you roll, you're going to roll really slowly. And right now, since I'm so light, I can jump farther, I can move faster, so I can make jumps like this a little bit easier. Wearing that night, I'm going to show you what happens when I put that night armor back on, because that's a very important thing that you need to know. Your equipment load is very important. Oh, come on. I'm just sucking this jump, that's all it is. Normally what you're going to do is like line it up like right here and just run and not hit that brick. You want to try to hit, you want to aim, line it up. You want to hit, see, I should have made it right there. This is actually, and this is not a glitch of the game. This was intended by the creators for you to do. That if you're skilled enough and you can do this, then you get a reward for doing it. If not, you need 20,000 souls to open this gate to go up top and you can come down and get it that way. You can do it. That's the other way. But if you want it early, they purposely put this tree here so you can make this jump. I know this because this game's been out for over 2 years now, and they still haven't patched this, which means it's not a glitch. It was intended to be here. Come on, I'm toe tapping it. But in all the Souls games, there's stuff like this, where if you're paying attention to your environment, it's like, oh look, if I jump off of this, I can land on this, and then I can get to that item. Now, I think that was a perfectly good jump, but whatever. I thought that was a good jump too. That was a good jump. It's not letting me up. It's being gay. Game's being gay right now, guys. Sorry. See, this is why I need a video capture card, because I wanted to do this with a video capture card, and then I could just edit this until I made the jump. See, now I just made the jump. See what I mean? So now I'm up here. Now watch my equipment load. The bottom right-hand corner where it says the equipment load at 7.8. I'm going to equip that. Now I'm at 12. Okay? Now I'm at 23. 27. 33. So now I'm at 33.6 out of 55. That's where I'm at now. My roll is slower now than what it was when I didn't have any armor on. When I didn't have any armor on, my roll was much faster. So always keep that in mind when you're putting gear on, because gear can overburden you. Now all 3 games have these birds. Each game on the Soul series, now Lords of the Fallen, Neo, and games like that don't have this, but this is more of a Souls exclusive thing. These guys want something very specific from you, and each game is different. These guys want Pumperum and Pickle Pea. Pumperum is they want anything that explodes. If I leave one of these here, they're gonna be very happy about that. I don't think a Homered Bone does anything. I'm gonna leave one just in case because I don't remember if it does anything. But in the other one, I think they want like hard stuff, like weapons and some shields and stuff. There's extra shield I can buy. Call over. Yeah. So yeah, Homered Bone gave me call over, and I got large Titanite shard. The large Titanite shard was for the bomb. I just picked up an Estus shard, so now I'll go to +5 when I go talk to the blacksmith. And if you walk over here, this is the biggest thing of all Souls games, okay? If I walk to this here, it looks like a dead end, right? Visible wall. Fake wall. All Souls games have that. So now the Covenant Silver Serpent Ring, you can get this in all 3 games fairly early. Oh. Yeah, there we go. Equip that. So what this does is the Covenant Silver Serpent Ring, it goes, there's 1, 2, and 3. And what it does is it increases the amount of souls you get when you kill a foe. When you kill an enemy. Very important item to have when you're first starting out your Souls in Dark Souls. You really want to have this because now when you kill enemies, you get more for your more bang for your buck. We're gonna rest real quick and then we're gonna take this guy on. Because we're not done talking about we're not done with this everything you need to know kind of thing about Dark Souls yet. Now I remember when we first came up here, when we killed those 2 guys there, and I said, "Oh look, this is where we're supposed to go." And I said, "There's a path to the right and there's a path to the left." Now we're going to the path to the left. Now, what I want to do first is, you see there's a guy up there. We're going to kill these guys here first. Just in case you need to retreat backwards, you don't want to retreat into those guys. We'll grab this item, another ember, and there's a shield here you can grab as well. We're not using that shield. That shield sucks, but I'm just showing you. Okay, this guy, there is a way you can cheese this guy. This guy, when you kill him, he'll drop his armor, which is weak as shit, but he drops you the Uchi Katana. So if you're doing a Dex build, if you started with the Dex character, the high melee character, I'd recommend going to the Uchi going and fighting this guy and getting the Uchi from him right away. Plus, he deals a good amount of souls. Now you can fight him, or you can cheese him. If the way you would cheese him is you want to get him to where he's on one of these edges over here, where he's closest edge, and you want to keep attacking until he falls off. Once he falls off, just log out of the game, log back in, and his stuff will be his items will be just sitting here on the ground. Or you can go rest of the bonfire and come back, and it should be here. But either way, the way I fight him is very simple. I want to lock onto him, and attack, and roll away. Roll away. Now, if he does that, he wants to parry. That's a parry move. So don't attack him while he's doing that. Here we go. Wait for him to attack. Okay. Wait. He wants me to attack. Come on. Drink up. See, he broke my guard. He broke my guard. So left me open for an attack. Last Estus. can always do this. Now, some of you who, if you're watching this and you've never played a Dark Souls game, see, I get his armor and I get his weapon, but he gave me a lot of souls. Now, I usually die to him first time through, to be perfectly honest. He hits very hard, and if you're not good with combat, you're going to die to him. Best way to fight him is either get him to where he's standing over here and just attack him as many times, keep not backing him up until he falls off. Or if you're going to fight him legitly like I did, you want to hit him twice and then get the hell away from him and let him do his attacks. Wait till his attacks are done, then go in for your attacks. But you only want to hit him twice. Hit him twice and then roll away. Okay? So we're going to go up here because I think there's one more item over here we need to pick up. Nope, we already got it. Oh, no we didn't. There it is. Another Homer bone. And then the dog is right there. We're going to skip the dog. We don't need no damn. We don't want to fight the damn dog. So you see I'm out of S's. I can't drink anymore. Look. And he's like, oh, nope. So you can't heal anymore right now. As it sits right now, I cannot heal anymore. Now, if an NPC invades you and you were to kill the NPC in Dark Souls 3 only, you would get an Estus back. You get one Estus back. It would refill your Estus once. Certain enemies you kill will give you an Estus back. Okay? Or just resting at a bonfire will give you all of them back. Now, the other thing you need to understand, too, is all your stuff has durability except for your armor. So my shield has durability and my sword has durability. Okay? You see these... if you look at my sword, underneath my sword, there's a red bar. That red bar, you see how there's just a little bit missing on it? There's a little black dot missing on it. That's because the durability of it's starting to go down. And eventually it'll break. Eventually, if you let it go all the way down, it'll break. And you'll have to talk to the blacksmith to repair it. The way you fix that is you rest at the bonfire. Once you rest at the bonfire, it'll automatically repair all damage to all weapons. Watch. See that little black is gone? And I got all my Estus back. Now we're going to go talk to you first, because I have a soul for you. I have a soul for you for 200. Thank you.
Ashen 1.
Just what?
Reinforce. Now we have 5. We should have reinforced it before we fought that guy, because we could have had an extra Estus to fight him, just to be on the safe side. Rest. Now I'm going to show you what I was talking about. This applies to all Souls games, and all Soul style games are very much like this. We're going to go out here and I'm going to purposely die. Okay. What I'm going to do is I'm going to jump off this cliff. I've died. 2 things happen when you die. You might have noticed it. One of them happened right as you got to the loading screen. 2 things happen when you die. First of all, look at my life. My life has gone down. I'm not embered anymore, right? See, I don't have the embers on me anymore. Okay. The second thing is, look, all at the bottom right hand corner where my money is, my souls, I'm at 0. You actually, when you die, you lose all those temporarily. Don't freak out. If you die, you drop them wherever you died at. Okay? They fall on the ground, excluding Bloodborne. This is the only game that does it differently. But in this game, they fall on the ground, and you need to go pick them up. If you die again without picking up, you will lose them permanently. You'll have to start gathering more souls again. See this green? See the green one? That's your souls. If I click on it, it says souls retrieved. See, now I'm back up to 11,000. If I was to die again without recovering them, they wouldn't be there anymore. They'd be gone forever. You'd be out 11,000 souls. There's rings in this game that can prevent you from losing your souls when you die. You'll still become unembered, but you can lose. It's called rings of sacrifice. So if you're in an area where you think, I don't know this area, I might die, you can put a ring of sacrifice on, and if you die, the ring will break. It'll literally dissolve. It'll break, but you won't lose any of your souls, so you don't have to try to go and capture every look. By the way, look how beautiful that is. They do such a good job with these games. Um, um, but it'll break that ring, and then you keep all your souls, so you don't have to go looking for them. Oh wait, hold on. See, okay, at the very top of the screen, you see how we're at 63.3% weight ratio? It's 70%, okay? We're 34.8 out of 55. 55 would be your max. That means you wouldn't be able to go any higher. But our percentage is 63%. If I go over 70, I would literally, when I'd roll, I'd like my back would hit the ground and I'd roll really slowly. Okay? Now, if I go here, I can do this. See how my life went up? And it says Ember restored. Now there's two things you want to two things. Two things you can use that for. One, restore your Ember so you're back to full life. Two, if you're in a boss fight and you run out of Estus, use all your Estus first, and if you're out of Estus, if you use that, it'll automatically re-ember you and give you full life again. So it essentially gives you an extra Estus, or an extra hidden blessing, is essentially what it does. We're gonna level up real quick. I'm just gonna show you what, like, now that we have more souls, we're gonna level up real quick. And I'm gonna put it all into this. Initially, on all Souls games, get your life to 20 before you level up anything else. Trust me, just get it to 20. Don't worry about everything else. Everything else is going to come very quickly. You're going to get all your other gear is going to level up. All your other stuff's going to level up fast. But this is the one you want to get up to 20 first. Look how much life I have now. It'll make your life so much easier in this game if you just get this to 20 at the start of the game. That includes Dark Souls 1 and Dark Souls 2. Get your life up to 20 first. That's now some of the biggest YouTubers for Dark Souls out there would argue with me on this. This is just my personal opinion on this. For a new player that's never played the game before, if you get this to 20 first, it allows you to take more hits. It allows you to take more damage and not die. So get that to 20 first, okay? Now, we're going to talk about a couple of advanced things now. Your weapon. Your weapon, all weapons have specialties to them, okay? This weapon, your longsword, exploration, here we go. If you look down here, you see how it says attribute bonus? And there's a letter next to it. This is its scaling, okay? E is the worst, S is the best. D, so it would go D then E. So it goes E, D, C, B, A, S. Okay? Right now, this weapon has a D scaling in both Dex and Strength. So you're getting perks. So you're getting a bonus in your physical damage. Based off of how much, based on the fact that I have 13 Dex and 12 Strength, or 13 Strength and 12 Dex, I'm getting a bonus perk. This is giving me a bonus into my weapon damage, okay? And this is the requirements that you need to equip the weapon, okay? So in order to equip this weapon, I need 10 Strength and 10 Dex. Now, if I look at this weapon, hold on. Phew. Sorry, I was going to mute that. And I didn't get to my mute button fast enough. Sorry, excuse me. I didn't mean to sneeze in your guys' ear. For which person is this? This is for any player who's starting out Dark Souls for the very first time. This is just a general guide. This isn't going to be a full series. This is going to be maybe one. I might do a second video on like more advanced techniques and stuff like that. On how to use spells and stuff like that. Because I want to give you guys everything about Souls So when you start the game for the first time, you have the best knowledge I can offer you. And I'm also going to let you know that there are other YouTubers out there who know a lot more about Dark Souls than I do, that you can always go check them out too if you want more information. Epic Name Bro, his YouTube channel, please go check it out. Not just for I want to learn how to play Dark Souls, because he doesn't do that. He doesn't do a guide on how to play Dark Souls. He does lore guides. So if you want to learn the storyline behind what's going on in these games, go to his YouTube channel. I know what's going on, but I have a hard time explaining it because each game, it slightly changes, and I have a theory about all the games. And if you watch my YouTube channel and go back through some videos, you'll find where I actually explain how I think this whole universe is connected. Ian B would be a person who would argue with me on that fact because he knows all the lore, and there is some lore that you have to suspend some disbelief and discard some of the lore in the Soul series, even Bloodborne, for my theory to actually make sense. But moving on, again, to answer Ghetto Creeper's question, this is for anybody who's just starting out Dark Souls for the very first time, and this is one of the best games ever made. Okay, not Dark Souls 3, but Dark Souls in general. Okay, the series in general. Demon Souls, Dark Souls 1, Dark Souls 2, Dark Souls 3, and Bloodborne. They've got knockoffs. Salt and Sanctuary, Lords of the Fallen, Neo. Those are all. What's that free game? Hold on a second. You guys are gonna see a blue screen for a second. I got it. Let It Die. There we go. Let It Die. These are all spin-off games off of what FromSoft has done. Okay, that's why I think this is the greatest games ever made, is because they've created so many spin-offs now, knockoffs, if you will, that are just as good. They're just as good. Neo is amazing. It's not made by FromSoft though. It's made by Japan Animations or whatever, Japan Studios. So I think they might have talked to FromSoft because I think they're all generally in the same area. I would assume because Japan's not an island. It's not that huge. So I don't know where Japan Studios versus FromSoft Studios, where they're at in Japan, but I would assume, based on the way Neo's played out, that they did discuss some of their gameplay tactics with FromSoft and get some advice from them. Maybe even use some of their engines, because it plays very similar to Dark Souls. But there's a lot of other games that have been spun off of that, and if you start into a Dark Souls game and you get frustrated and you go, man, this game sucks, I don't want to play this game, and you throw it away, you're missing out on some really good games. Because all the other games that are similar, you're going to go, no, it's similar to Dark Souls, I'm not even going to look at it. I don't even care. I don't even want to be a part of it. And you're missing out because these games are really good. They really are. I promise you they really are. You just got to get past the fact that this isn't a game that's going to hold your hand. This game is going to throw you into the middle of, throw you right into the blender with the blender on. And you got to fight for your way to get out of the blender. Okay? And that's what that's what I'm trying to teach. That's what this video is all about, is me trying to show you that these games aren't impossible to play. In fact, they're quite fun. I'm addicted to them. I love every Dark Souls game. I own all of them but Demon Souls. It's the only one I don't own. And then the knockoffs, I own Lords of the Fallen. I will be owning Neo again soon. I had Neo for a while, and then I had some issues with it. But I will be getting Neo again with all its DLCs. And I'll probably get Salt and Sanctuary here soon too, because it's only like a $20 game. So I'll probably get Salt and Sanctuary, which is a 2D version of Dark Souls. So instead of being in 3D, it's a scroller where you go from left to right, but it's Dark Souls from left to right. That's what Salt and Sanctuary is. It's really cool. Really cool game. But anyways, back to what we were doing. So I was showing you. So you see how this one has an X on it, And that is... Oh, dang it. I keep hitting the wrong button. That's the wrong button. There we go, exploration. The reason is okay, see how this has an E scaling? And, okay, so first of all, it has 30 bleed damage. It actually has an additional effect of bleed. This is poison, this is frost. Your Uchi has bleed, it does do bleed damage. But it has an E scaling in strength because it's not a strength weapon. But it has a C scaling in dex. Now the reason I can't use this is because it needs 16 dexterity, and I only have... Oops. I only have 12 dex, so I can't use this weapon. So if you want to use this weapon, then if you want to use this weapon, then what you need to do is, as you're playing the game, you want to start building into dex. Stop building into strength and start building into dex. Get your dex to 16, and then you can use this. You can also keep keep leveling these equally. So get this to 20, then get this to 20, and then you're doing what we call a quality build. Now you can use dex or strength weapons. Most of your dex and strength weapons, the lower end ones, they stop at 20. Your higher end ones, your washing pole or your great swords, your great axes and stuff like that, those are going to require a lot more strength or a lot more dex to use. But you can do, there's a thing called quality builds where you're putting points into everything. That way you can use everything. This build is strictly a strength build. That's what I would be going for with this character. Moving forward, I'd be going for a strength build. Okay, but what time is it? Hang on. You guys might hear a beep. My computer's being stupid again. It's not charging. You hear that beep? I have a short in my computer, and I have to have the wire just right, or it won't charge. There it goes. Now it's charging. Yeah. So, the biggest problem that a lot of players have is getting over the combat of Dark Souls. They just don't quite grasp it. And that's okay. That's why I'm showing you this. This is a turtle build, okay? What I mean by turtle build is you're going to rely on your shield more than you're going to rely on anything else. So every enemy that attacks you, you're going to be blocking their attacks. You're going to be blocking their attacks, and then you're going to counterattack. Okay? That's called a turtle build. Okay? Nothing wrong with that. But what you want to do is you want to make sure that you have the biggest, baddest shield you can equip to do a turtle build. And then I'm gonna show you what leveling up a weapon looks like too. I'm gonna show you leveling up a weapon. Okay, so I'm gonna stand here because I want to kite these dogs. Oh, I got some gunk in my throat, man. It just won't come out. Sorry for the gross sounds. There he goes. There we go. These guys are free kills. The other thing you want to know about Dark Souls games that a lot of people don't realize, there's no pause button. If I hit this, these enemies are still moving towards me. Again, just block. Just block. Okay. Okay. We got two guys moving towards us. Let's back up. Let him go. Let him figure out what he's gonna do. See if we can get this guy to kite towards us. Yeah. Okay. This guy, I parried him. Do you hear that parry? That was a parry. You heard that big thunk sound? That's because I parried him. Backstab. This guy's very easy to backstab because he does because he's got a great axe. So anytime he does an attack, it's going to be very. He's going to be exhausted after each attack. So every time he swings it, he's going to be like, ugh. Like, it takes him a second before he can swing it again. Okay? I'm going to go down here real quick and grab this item. Now, if you want a walkthrough for Dark Souls 3, I have a walkthrough on my YouTube channel. Just go through my playlist. There is a walkthrough for Dark Souls 3. This isn't a walkthrough for Dark Souls 3. This is a how to play beginner's guide to Dark Souls. Not Dark Souls 3, but Dark Souls in general. I'm going to reiterate that a million times. Okay? This guy. Now, this is what the fire bombs were for. This is what I want to firebomb. These guys don't like him. Get behind him. There we go. We got an ember and a titanite shard. Again, this is not a tutorial, but I will let you know. Your first time through this game, you want that guy to transform. You can kill him before he transforms, but if you kill him before he transforms, all you're going to get is an ember. If you let him transform, you'll get an ember and you'll get a titanite shard. So you'll get the crafting material you need to level up your weapon. So, worth doing, right? Oh. I was wondering why I was hearing a noise. Free souls. Kill them. They're literally praying, so kill them. Get back to the bonfire and just rest. Oh, we had to light this bonfire. Okay. Rest at it. Now, all those enemies over there respawn, but we don't care. We're not going back over there. That was a dead end anyways, if you noticed. If you kill him, he won't. When he yells, he'll wake up a bunch of these guys, and they'll want to fight you. But if you don't, you get all these free souls, and these guys have a chance. It is a low chance, but they do have a chance to drop a titanite shard when you kill them. So might as well kill them, right? I'm gonna get to the first real boss, which is Vort, and then that's when I'll probably end the video. And then the next video I'll delete this character. And we'll start with we'll do a spell build, and I'll show you the difference between a spell build. Hold on a second, guys. Okay, we're gonna go up here real quick. I don't know why I'm doing this. This is no relevance to the beginner's guide, but see, there's a booby. That was a booby trap. Souls games there's always a trap. Oh, just think about when you're playing this game. Just think every corner or around every corner, there's going to be somebody waiting to ambush me, or there's going to be some type of trap that I'm going to trigger that's going to kill me. So just assume that, and as you're playing the game, if you do that, you'll be all right. And look at your entire. Am I saying that right? It sounds like I'm saying that wrong. Environment. Look at your entire environment. They give you a raw gem. Raw gems will take away all your stats and make your weapon just a basic weapon. Now, certain weapons are really good when they're raw. Other weapons, not worth it. Get a guy with a shield. Front kick. See what I mean? Strafe. Always lock on so you can strafe. Okay, now we're going to go up here and we're going to run like hell. Well, we're going to kite these enemies first. That way none of them chase me in here. Now, there is some good gear out there. The club. That back there is a claymore. Now, this is another thing. If you see this where the chain is pointed forward and there's like a padlock on it, if you look at this chest, you can see it's breathing. That's a mimic chest. Don't let them grab you. If they grab you, it's an insta-kill. Just watch what he's gonna do. Okay, so he's gonna grab. Don't let him grab you. If they don't do anything for a minute, just go ahead and attack. You can get a free attack in on him. See, I'm dead. I might not be dead. I got a lot of life. Yeah, I got a lot of life. Normally that'd be an insta kill if you. Ow! There we go. Now, if you were building if this was my character, I would instantly switch from this sword to this axe. Now look, you look at see how this has descaling in both my things. This doesn't have a scaling, but this does do dark damage, and axes are very broken in Dark Souls. Good, Matt. Let's go and chug out. It's okay. Be all right. Actually, I don't even think I'm going to go to the first boss. I think I'm just going to show you how to level up a weapon, and then we're going to end the video. See how you see all the blue damage coming off of him? I parried him. And then we're... you're dead. Drop your shield. Aw. You want his shield. You want his shield. Now, unlike all the other Souls games, Dark Souls 3 is the one thing Dark Souls 3 has going for it that all the other Souls games don't, is my laptop not charging. No, I'm just joking. Come on. There we go. Enemies in all the other Souls games, when you rest at the bonfire, they will respawn. But they'll only respawn for a... Wow, he's still alive. They'll only respawn for a certain amount of times. That's not the case in Dark Souls 3. Dark Souls 3, enemies infinitely respawn. So you can rest at the bonfire as many times as you want. So that night, if you want his gear, you can sit here. There's a bonfire just above me. We're going to grab these fire bombs real quick. Just because, force of habit. And we already have enough to level this weapon up. So I'm going to show you that. I'm going to show you what I'm talking about. There's a bonfire right here. Tight that shot. How many do I have? Do I have 3? Because I need 2 and then I need 4. So I need 6 total. And right now all I have is 3. So I would need 3 more to get to +2. So we're just gonna go +1. I'm just gonna show you what it looks like. Travel back to Firelink. But you do, if you're starting out and you're playing, if you're doing my opinion and you're starting with Dark Souls 3, that's the Lothric Knight, and you want his shield. If you started with this character, this class, you want his shield. You want to farm him until you get his shield. First of all, you're gonna get a lot of souls out of it, so there's nothing wrong with that. Secondly,
tis good, wasn't he?
you can get his shield, which is amazing. So you hit reinforce. We're gonna reinforce this. You see all my stats went up. They were from 96 to 116. Or 106. The next one would take me to 116. They're 106 now, right? Yeah, 106 and 106. But I'll show you what I'm talking about. So we travel back to where we just were. And Dark Souls always rewards you for exploration. It doesn't matter if you're in 1, 2, 3, Bloodborne, Demon Souls, Neo, any type of soul style game, if you explore the entire world, trust me, there's rewards out there, they're hidden, that you can find. So explore every nook and cranny of the area that you're in, because there's always items to be found. Trust me. So what you want to do is let this guy go out here. He's gonna make this little turn to the wall. As soon as he makes that turn, then you can attack. Then you can fight this guy. If you go ahead and before that, then you have to fight both of them. He dropped an item. We'll get that on the way back. I was just waiting for the parry. I could take his damage. He doesn't hit that hard. See, look, I almost killed him in just that one hit. And just that one critical. He didn't drop anything, but I'm going to show you what I'm talking about, how you can just sit there and farm them. In fact, we can actually do this. I think, didn't we get a... No, we didn't. That's Dark Souls 2 I was thinking of. We could put some points into luck. Let's do that. Watch this. Let's do this. Let's go back to Firelink real quick. I'm just going to show you what I'm talking about. I normally wouldn't do this, but if you want to try to get the item faster, get your luck up. Because you can always there's going to be an NPC in the game where you can always move your renegotiate your stats with, as long as you have the proper item to give the person. All the games have that. And this one is Rosaria. If you give her a pale tongue, she'll let you redo all her stats. Let's go ahead and sell all of our souls. Whatever souls we have 4 of these. Okay. Alright. So it's 600. Level up. And we're going to put it all into the luck. We get 2 luck. So, we've increased our luck by 2. We're not doing any bleed or anything like that, but our item discovery goes up. So, it gives us a higher chance of enemies dropping items. In Dark Souls 2, there's extra gear that can do that. I can't think of any gear in Dark Souls 3 that does that. But there's gear in Dark Souls 2 that literally increases your item find. Dark Souls 2 is my favorite out of the Souls series. It was the first one I was exposed to, so it's my favorite. It's not the best one, but it's my favorite one. There is a difference. I think out of all the Dark Souls games, Dark Souls 1 is the best one. It has the best storyline. Gameplay is great. Dark Souls 3 is great too. Oh, come on, dude. Stop it. Go away. I need to get out here before this guy gets off. I parried that. There we go. You would know if he had an item. As soon as he hits his knees, you'll see a white thing in his head. So if he didn't drop it, then he's not gonna drop it at all. And but watch. I mean, I just hit this. Just rest, get back up, and you can run right back down. This is good because if you're a new player and you want to get a little bit ahead of the game, ahead of the curve, you can farm souls. Now this isn't a good area to farm souls. But there we go. See how as soon as he hits his knees, he dropped an item. He dropped his helmet. His helmet's actually better than the helmet we have. It's heavier. See how it's heavier? See, I go from 65 to 60, but it is a better helmet. It is a better helmet. So his whole gear set's better than what we're wearing. Now, granted, if we were to put his whole gear set on, we'd be fat rolling. Just FYI. I just want to show you what I'm talking about with this shield. Their shield has more poise. That's why you want it. It has the same amount of physical defense, but it has more poise. So. Alright. There we go. That's what I was waiting for. Let that third attack get in there so I can... nothing. Oh well. Anyways, what I was talking about was, if you look at my shield, the poise on it. See how the poise is 20? I have 22 or 26.22 over there underneath equipment on the bottom right hand corner. That other shield would raise my poise up dramatically. So when I block, when enemies do heavier attacks, when I block, I would take a lot less stamina. I'd lose a lot less of my stamina. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'm gonna do one more on spells and stuff like that another day. But hi, Kana. Just wrapping up actually. I hope everybody enjoyed this video. If you're new to my channel, please subscribe and hit that notification button so you can be notified so you can join me in live chat when I'm live streaming. I love talking to you guys. Everybody always seems to be very friendly, so I love talking to you guys. My YouTube channel is BlueRaven2234, so make sure you go check that out. Subscribe. And if this video, I tell you what, for me to do another video like this for a how-to guide on Dark Souls, like for beginners, if you guys like this, let me do another one. I need 10 likes on this video. Give me 10 likes. I got 112 subscribers right now. Out of 112 of you guys, 10 of you guys need to hit the like button on the video. If at least 10 of you hit it, I'll do another video on a different style build to show you different ways of playing Dark Souls. But on that note, I hope everybody has a wonderful day. We're going to drink an Estus by accident, but I hope everybody has a wonderful day. And I will see you guys on the next video. Thanks for coming, guys. Take care.